Hello, Jason Moore here from Guitar Solo Dojo. I'm going to break down yet another, again, iconic Van Halen riff. This one off of 1984, Panama. There's a few key tips in this that, for the longest time, a lot of people got really wrong, some really, really fundamental stuff. And if you get it right, it greatly increases your chance of making this sound awesome. Number one is the song doesn't start on one. It starts on the and of one, so it's on the upbeat. When you first hear it, it's a little deceptive. It just all comes in. And so usually the ear's assumption is that that's going to be right on one, but it's not. There's a little eighth note rest that you don't actually obviously hear. It just comes in on the end of one. So it's 2, 3, 4, 1. That's key right there. I've played with bands before, and they attempted to play that song, and somebody in the band didn't know that it started on the upbeat of one. So there was this always weird transition going between that and then the next part, which that whole bit right there, and it goes to the C sharp minor. So if you get that right, you're already off to a good start. So we go through this intro, pretty basic stuff. You're just kind of doing this E to an E sus, to, you can call it an E major 9, whatever you want to call it, or a B over E. It doesn't really matter. It just sounds cool. Then the first really cool thing that happens here is this bar dive on the open B string. And also, it comes in on beat number 2. Well, not also. You should know it comes in on beat number 2. 1, 2. And then you get this open that lands on the and of 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And we end up with the same kind of thing. So 3, 4, 1, bar dive, 3, 4, and. Right? So we end up with that same basic rhythm. So all together, 3, 4, 1. Now instead of going to the bar dive again, he goes to a pick slide. Then we get to that cool C sharp minor part, which I don't probably need to cover too much. It's pretty loose feeling. I could cover every single note in it, but I actually don't really play it based off a transcription. I just kind of get the feel. But then we encounter that tricky little pinch harmonic, which is very, very specific. And I remember first hearing that, thinking it sounded like a vocal thing almost. It sounded like one of Dave's inward screams that he does all the time. And it was really hard to tell, but obviously it's a pinch harmonic, and you have to... He bends it up a whole step, and it should be an A. Somewhere right in there. It's really hard to find. There's a lot easier pinch harmonics to find, so you can just do something close to it, but it gets that really dissonant sound because you've got this B note bending over this A harmonic, pinch harmonic. So anyway, I don't know if that was the right one or not, but that's the idea. You can toy around with it, but it should be basically an A, keeping in mind that we're down a half step, so it's all relative, right? So this A is actually an A flat. So we got that pinch harmonic going in there. And then it goes right back to the riff. Another cool riff he has going on here. Two different ways you could play this. You could do this. And then I think what's usually written would be this. Where you hit this G string 4th fret, and then you start with that, and then it also adds in the open on the B string to give it this cool little slightly out of tune, like chorusy kind of effect. I don't play it like that. I do this harmonic here instead of, they're the same harmonic, but I like the way this one rings out a lot better, so I go. And then I can add in the harmonic and that open B with an upstroke. Anyway, those are some of the really cool things that happen in that tune, and I hope these little tricks help you get through it. So have a good time.